Hello, my name is Reverend Dr. May Elise Cannon, and today is the 1st of October 2025. We're quickly approaching the 2-year anniversary of the horrors of the Hamas attacks on October 7th, 2023. There remain roughly 48 hostages, less than half of whom are believed to still be alive in the Gaza Strip. And every day, a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, several dozen Palestinians continue to be killed in Gaza by the ongoing Israeli attacks. Today is day 726. Today's update, I thought I would keep it a bit shorter. Yesterday's update was very robust. A lot of what I talked about yesterday had to do with the 20-point plan that is currently on the table that Netanyahu and Trump announced from the White House in their press conference on Monday. So the middle of the week, Israeli fire in the past 24 hours killed 36 Palestinians in Gaza, according to local hospitals. 17 were killed while attempting to access humanitarian assistance. That's according to the Al-Awada hospital officials. Israeli strikes in central and southern Gaza killed 19 other people. The big news is that a senior Hamas figure talked to BBC News and said that most likely Hamas is going to reject Trump's plan, that it serves Israel's interest and it ignores the needs and the interests of the Palestinian people. The figure said Hamas was unlikely to disarm and hand over their weapons, which is one of the key conditions of the White House proposal. Hamas has not yet given their official response, but we're standing by in that regard. There's also news related to the global Samud flotilla. They said this morning that one of their vessels were aggressively circled by an Israeli warship for several minutes as it approached Israel's naval blockade zone. You'll recall that Italy, at least at the time that I last looked in on the flotilla, Italy had stopped accompanying. There was an Italian Navy ship, or maybe there was more than one, but the Italian Navy was accompanying the flotilla, and they did not want to get into a diplomatic incident with Israel. And so they said they were going to pull back. I didn't see the news about whether or not Turkey was continuing to accompany the flotilla. But this report said that one of the vessels was aggressively circled by an Israeli warship for several minutes as it approached the blockade. At the time of writing, activists in the flotilla confirmed that they were back on course after that initial confrontation. Updates in terms of the Houthis in Yemen. The Iranian-backed group today claimed responsibility for that attack on the Dutch cargo ship that we talked about in the Gulf of Aden earlier this week. And Yemen's Humanitarian Operations Coordinating Center, a body affiliated with the Houthis, announced yesterday that it's actually going to sanction 13 U.S. oil firms, 9 executives, and 2 vessels. This group said that the sanctions are in retaliation for U.S. sanctions that were imposed on the Houthis earlier this year. President Trump yesterday had said that he was giving Hamas 3 or 4 days to respond to the White House proposal related to Gaza. Qatari and Egyptian officials presented Hamas with the plan Monday. There was no timeline. The diplomat said that Hamas negotiators need to communicate with the people in Gaza, which can take hours or days. Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey are urging Hamas to respond positively while noting that some of the points need clarification and negotiation. The source said that Hamas leaders told the Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani that they would study the proposal in good faith. A federal judge yesterday ruled that the Trump administration had used the threat of deportation to systematically silence academics and students who protested in the support of Palestinians, which is a clear violation of the First Amendment. The judge wrote that the case presented the issue of whether non-citizens lawfully present here in the U.S. actually have the same free speech right as the rest of us. And the court answers this constitutional question unequivocally. Yes, they do. An op-ed piece I mentioned this yesterday by Josh Paul, the human rights activist, former director of congressional and public affairs for the Bureau of Political Military Affairs, published an op-ed in The Guardian. He discussed the immoral nature of the Kushner-Blair Gaza plan as it lists ways in which there will be extensive Western occupation and control. He states that the plan is complete with the same old visions of economic prosperity, disconnected from the realities on the ground and the rights of the people there. It will not work, and it should not be trusted. Today, I met with leaders from Palestine and the Middle East that are a part of our End Still We Rise network. We had a really incredible gathering in November of 2024, led by Palestinian Christian women, mostly from Bethlehem, but also from Nazareth. We met in Jericho in November of 2024. More than 100 leaders gathered for that End Still We Rise Women's Summit. The first day included men also. We'll be working towards doing another summit in Jordan, inshallah, the Lord willing, in fall of 2026. If you're interested in getting involved in our End Still We Rise engagement, drop us a note at info@cmep.org. We do have a mini course, a 3-part webinar series that's going to be coming out very soon, featuring a number of those Palestinian, Christian, and international leaders. So thank you for your prayers and for your efforts. May God go before us. May peace come quickly. Be with the people of Gaza. Be with all people who suffer. May God bring peace in the name of Christ. Amen.